And today I'm going over the RFT Level 1 certification experience. Okay, so had the great opportunity to work with Rulk almost a year ago now. We went over down to, dude, was it Santa Monica? It was like somewhere in SoCal. Totally forgot already, I'm so bad. But it was somewhere in SoCal, and the first time I heard about Rulk, if you guys haven't heard about him, you know, he talks about raw functional training. It's basically motor learning for adults. It's motor learning for adults. If you're really into, if you're a motor learning, motor development, kinesiology type person, it's really that. Like, think about motor learning from a baby standpoint, but it's moving over more towards just helping train the adult person to do it again. To its proprioception, its sensory, it's all that fun stuff. And he does a great job of creating a curriculum of training people through that. He trains first responders, he trains elite athletes, he trains like operators. If you're in the military, you know, like trains elite operators, all that fun stuff. It's all body weight type based. And one of the biggest things I like about it was they're very joint friendly. There was not much impact, and you can do them anywhere. You can do them in your own apartment. You can do them. And it's very convenient. Especially nowadays, a lot of people want to learn more about this stuff. And again, I had a great opportunity to do it. It was a 2-day experience, and it was very practical. For those bookworms out there, there's no test. You just have to make it through. Now I know, a lot of people are like, what does that mean? So you don't take a test, you just fucking do it and da-da-da-da. But it's one of those certifications. I'm not just saying you take it and you're like, oh, I'm the greatest thing ever, and da-da-da-da-da. It's more of to test yourself and to learn by doing. It's a big learn by doing. If you're a big learn by doing person, this is a great certification for you. If you're a bookworm, you're gonna have a lot of trouble with this because you're just gonna be like, how do I validate this? How do I say that I'm approved? I don't understand. The knowledge aspect, it really comes down to asking him a bunch of questions about it. I had my notebook, I wrote down as much notes as I could every time I had FaceTime with him, every time I had, you know, yeah, FaceTime with him before, after the workouts. We all eat after. I think the second day we all go to, I think Stacks, and you eat pancakes and all that stuff. I was really big on pancakes at that point, cause yeah, it was insane. But the people are great. He has a lot of coaches out there who's already trained under him to kind of lead you guys through. They're called calls them the Ohana, DaMovement. But it was great. These guys are great people. Man, Heather, Kyle, Taka. All right, there you go. So that guy helped me a lot. Is it Taka? I gotta go double check. But yeah, those guys helped me out a lot. Cause the first day is, I remember one of the coach's girlfriends, we were all getting ready. It was all these, like, you go in and it was this outdoor field, and it was like a big soccer field lined up with all these cones, and I was putting my stuff down, and one of these girls were like, oh, you're here for the cert? I'm like, yeah. And she just looks at me and goes, you're gonna die. Nani? I was like, what? What are you talking about? What do you mean I'm gonna die? And I was like, oh, okay, I kind of brushed it off. And then everyone else who was, you know, coming from around the state, people who flew over from across the nation, from New York, Florida, dude, Oklahoma. There's people from various states going into this. We were all met up at this field in Irvine. And, you know, I was like, oh, hey, how you doing? Da-da-da-da. And it was great. So then you see Rulk, and he's meeting with all his coaches, kind of debriefing him. And then we line up. Then he introduces himself, talks about all this stuff. And then we really just go into it. Okay, and we learn all these movements. There's several movements, can't name them out. I'm not gonna lay out all the certification. And you gotta do it, man. But he lays out, basically the formula was, or the flow was, talks about a movement, demonstrates the movement, the coaches demonstrate the movement, talks about the why, and we do it.
Drive the knees and outside the arms, outside the arms. Drive them out, open up the hips, wide. want to push from your heel. Down here. Load up, hands behind us. One square landing at 2, go.
And you got people who are coaches, you got people who are first responders, you got people who are in the military. And the people in the military were killing it. And the people who were kind of civvies, like civilians, were just, oh my God, we're dying. And every lane, because we all had our own lanes, all right? Every lane had their own coach, or like several, like one coach of the Rulk's guys were coaching us through it. It was at our own pace, but obviously you're doing it with the group. So when the group's finished, he moves on to the next, but he doesn't like, you don't want to be that guy who's last, right? So me personally, I was like 3rd or 4th to last. I was, oh my God, I'm dying.
Try that
But you go through these movements, you feel the pain, because one of his methods is if you're gonna tell people to do this stuff, if you're going to go over it, if you're going to coach it, if you're going to teach the movements, which I'm going to be teaching a lot of movements in this channel about, you gotta go through it. You gotta go through it, you gotta understand what is gonna go on through your client's mind, physically, emotionally, mentally, before you even spout it out and talk about it. And I agreed with that. I totally agree with that. Philosophy and all that, it was great. It was a great way to go about it. So again, the certification is a learn by doing experience. And the way you get more knowledge and learn about the why, you have to talk to them. You have to ask questions. And everyone's gonna be asking questions. But that's how it is. That's like the only con thing I would say. There's no like formal like study guide but yeah, so if you're a big study guide person, you love like notes and shit like that, this is more of like under fire, take notes when you can, talk to them and learn as much as you can, because you basically get the opportunity to learn from him, but you need to ask the questions. You can't just be like standing back and be like, okay, I get it, like that, especially if you're gonna go through this, something like this. So it took us about, the whole day one was like, we started at 7 a.m. I think, or it was early. I forgot already. 8 a.m., 7 a.m. It was like early, and we didn't get done till 1 or 2. It was bad. Like it was in the hot sun. It was on turf. It took us like 3 hours to get through the whole movement process, learning each movement individually, doing them at different paces, 25%, 75%, 100%, and switching it. And dude, my legs were shot. At the end of the whole sequence, they're like, oh, we're good. And then we thought we were gonna be done after the last movement. And this was like 2.5 hours in. And they're like, all right, now we're gonna do this all over again, but full speed. And we're like, haha, we're laughing. And he's looking at us like, yeah, are you guys laughing? I'm for real.
Nani?
And we're like, laughing started to go, what the fuck? And it was good. And we had to do it full speed at the end. This really mentally pushed the shit out of me. I was fucking done. My legs were fucked. My legs were fucked. My arms were, my whole body was fucked. And I came in here hydrated, fed, I worked out regularly, but this was at another level. And again, the military guys, they're just going. They motivated me to, oh fuck, I gotta go. And it was really supportive. It was a very supportive community, because they went and they're like, come on, Austin, da 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 da. But yeah, oh, fun fact, this guy, what was it, Rulk coaches Hemsworth and Brolin, and supposedly one of them was supposed to be there, but they were like busy. I think Thor, like, yeah, he tells it, I coach Thor, da, da, da. So like, I think they were filming or they were promoting Endgame, or one of the, I think it was Endgame. But yeah, but long story short, so the day one was insane. Like, it was insane. I had to go to this recovery thing. I got like was it the ice, the cryotherapy? I had to go and do it. Now there's like debate. There's debate. Like, oh, cryotherapy doesn't work. Da, 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 da. I didn't give a shit. I really didn't give a shit. I was sore. I couldn't move. I already knew my muscles were fucked. And day two meant you had to do it again.
Nani?
Yeah, like, so you had the whole, I was supposed to visit family in LA, because, you know, I was supposed to visit family. I was there in town. I was like, oh, I'll go visit you guys. I told them straight up, I can't do it. I can't. I'm stuck. Like, I had friends in LA wanting me to hang out. I'm like, nope, I'm in my hotel room. I had to go to cryotherapy. I had to get the leg massage thing. I I had to go to this place that did it, but they did it well, and I just like was stumbling in. Some other coaches, they were good, they were fresh, but I was sore shit. I'm sorry, I was sore shit. And then I did that, was done, recovered. I slept at 6 p.m. and woke up at 5 a.m. That's how long I slept. It was bad. And I made sure I got oatmeal in, I got food before I left, and then we went. At 6 a.m., or the next day you're at a beach, okay? So we meet at the beach, well, we met at the shopping center, then we all got shuttled to the beach. So we got shuttled to this beach, it's somewhere in Irvine. I'm very bad with where SoCal, so if you're from SoCal, I'm pretty sure you'll kind of know where it's at. It was a nice, beautiful beach, God, it was beautiful. It was a beautiful beach, but Coach Brian was there. He led us through a great warm-up. You had to jog, warm-up flow. It was great. It was a cool flow, kind of calmed you down, kind of get you moving and grooving for the morning. And then we saw the cones out. I got some PTSD with the cones, man. Like, you've been to an RFT level 1 cert. The cones are different, man. The cones are like, oh, fuck, cones are out again. But they laid out the cones. We basically did exactly what we did yesterday, but it was like a shortened course. They shortened it, thank God. They shortened it by like by a quarter. They took a quarter of the length out. And we did it in the sand. The sand's a different beast. If you know the elements of, stable ground versus sand, requires more work. Because again, these are all body weight movements, the sit-throughs, all this other stuff, the hostage switches, or the hostage squats, and you had to go through the sand. You had to do the whole thing through the sand, full speed. And we're already sore. So I was like, fuck, okay, we did it. So we're doing it. So we do it up and down, full speed, get it done, okay? That took about like 30, 40 minutes. And after everyone's done, we did something called the SEAL 20s. That's all I'm gonna say about the SEAL 20s. We did the SEAL 20s. It has something to do with running into the water and doing something after, many times over, as a team. I'm just gonna say SEAL 20s. That's just that. If you want to know more, you have to do the cert. That's just how it is. I mean, I'm sure there's other people who are gonna talk about it, but it's just it was fucked because he always changes it anyway. So it doesn't make sense if I try to explain it. He's gonna always change it up. But the SEAL 20s is just like the thing that they finish off on. Oh God. SEAL 20s, sugar cookie. That's all I'm gonna say about that. If you wanna know more about it, if you have a guess of what it is, comment below. But that was my experience with that. At the end of the day too, we all went to Stacks. Well, first of all, we all went back to the shopping center, and then we all went to Stacks. We met up and ate at the Pancake House together. Some people left already, they had flights, they're ready to go home. But majority of us were still there. Rulk hung out with us. And that's when I asked him more about questions. And he talks about it, talks about his sequences, talks about the reasons why. I wrote down, had my notebook, all that stuff. But yeah, it was great, man. I mean, it was just a great experience. And after that, you get your cert, and there you go. It was just a 2-day thing. Now, it's a learn by doing experience. It doesn't make you like a certified coach where you could take on clients. I don't truly believe, but I believe like if you're a coach and you're kind of been in the game for a while and you kind of want something new and something different, but at the same time something that you can actually add to your full-on program of how you train athletes, this is a great one. It's just great tools to add to your toolbox. And it was a great experience, great networking. The guys are great. I still keep in contact with them. Trying to see if I can do level 2 once all this other stuff goes like when we get back to real life. But it was a great experience, and that's why I'm sharing it with everyone else now. So it was great. Now I get to kind of share the teachings, but in my own way, in my own sense, but still sticking to the fundamentals. And I hope you guys enjoy it. So that's my experience. If you ever want to take I'll link Rulk's website below, and you reach out to him. But yeah, it's great, it's fun. Oh man, I highly suggest you do it just to test yourself. It was a great experience on my part. All right, so this is Coach Austin with Hyper Strength and Conditioning, where we nerd out on workout, turn nerds into superheroes. Don't forget to like, subscribe, do all the things, like all the stuff, and I'll see you guys later. Okay, bye.